Welcome to Short Scale Modelling. This is part 10 of Hobby Boss's M1070 truck tractor with the M1000 heavy equipment transport trailer, semi-trailer. Scale is 135. In this part, I'm going to be concentrating on the bed of the truck. So I'm going to be dealing with the back of the control panel, getting as much of that done as I can. There is a small problem with this video, well, not quite so small, but I'll go into that as the build's going along. So let's jump into this and see how well I get on. To begin with, I'm going to be painting the camouflage on the main truck here. Now, I'm not really showing this out of sequence. I've done another part of the build before getting onto this, but I'm going to show you that after this because there's a bit of a story there. So this part is fairly straightforward. So the black colouring is Revit Aquacolor 08 matte black, and I'm not specifically following any set pattern from the diagram on the painting sheet or indeed on the web that some of the photos I looked at. I've got the general pattern there, but with camouflage I always wing it really, just go freehand. So I'm just painting in the various markings with no real rhyme or reason where I'm putting the marking, just trying to get a balanced look. And the next colour I'm using is Revit Aquacolor 381 Brown Silk. So that's the three main colours. It's the green background colour, the black, and the brown. And just like the black, I'm just placing it in where I feel is necessary, trying to get the balanced look. And I'll do this all over the unit itself. There's no point in showing you all because it's all basically the same sort of thing. I mean, it all depends on the painter how they want to approach it. But as I said, I prefer the freehand look and just my judgment on balance. But feel free, obviously, to use a pattern guide or something like that if you're more comfortable. The first job I'm doing is making up the two winches that sit under the back plate for the control panel. Now I've already made up one that you can see on the mat there, so I'm just making up the other one. This is a series of photo etch parts which I'm just using my bending tool to bend into shape. There's quite a lot of photo etch parts on this little mechanism, and it's highly detailed to build. A lot of it is very small parts though. But essentially, it's a box sitting on a cradle, sitting on a hard box before the cable goes on. Now, the cable or the wire, the kit does supply it, but I didn't like it. I decided to use my own rigging rope or thread. And the main reason was up for the amount. I wanted a good amount of coil around the mechanism, but I don't think they gave you enough just for one layer, so I just twisted it around quite a lot. Now, you may have noticed I'm not really showing you all this because there is a reason for that, and I'll just get to this. But as you can see that, I'm just putting on the finishing touches to the second winch. The bottom cradle is done, the mechanisms are on, then the top foot plate is going on. Well, I've just been building this. As you can see, this the back part that goes here onto the truck. There's a slight problem with it. This has taken me the better part of a day to build, and I haven't recorded it. I haven't recorded the build at all for some reason. Don't know why. I suppose these things happen. So what did I do? Well, these platforms here were attached. These are photo etch parts. These are the winches that I made up earlier on. They're put on this bed here. These are the mud guards which were placed on, and they were attached with some photo etch struts there. They were quite difficult to put on. This little box thing was new. There's a cable running up here with this canister thing. The control box was put on, and these are little levers, and I painted them separately. I'll list the paints at the end of this, but they're basically essentially black and steel. This thing here that was put on, there's a few full edge brackets this here. Then there's another winch which I done the same with that one, just putting rope around it. There's a little duct that goes from there to there, which is essentially a piece of wire that they supply. And then the steps go on in the hand cart. So these steps, each one had a full wedge inline step, which was bent and attached. So there's quite a lot done. But as I said, I didn't record it. I suppose it's just one of those things, but it's really annoying because this part, it's the main part of the build that I completely missed out. So I'm sorry that you're not getting to see it all getting built, but at least you can see it finished. And I've tried to explain it as best as I can, what I did with it. There's a couple of things that's got to be added onto the unit, and this is at the point where I realised I wasn't recording, so this is where I'm picking it up again. This part here is two struts that are joined together with foot wedge parts. These will be attached to the exhaust. This frame and wire mesh is getting attached with a little bit of super glue. But interestingly, how I'm building it here is exactly how I done the foot plates on the part of the build that I didn't show. So you can see how it's done, but it's a fairly simple process of fitting it into the frame. There's a little recess that runs all the way around for it to sit into. So it's time to fit these two parts that I just made up. As I said, the first part goes onto the side of the exhaust protecting cover. There's no location points as such for this, it just sits right next to it. And the screen goes above the control panel. All in all, the whole unit's a really nice fit. It's integral. There's a lot to this part, this whole unit, as I tried to explain. And if you do have this kit, this will allow a lot of time for this particular part of the build. There's also two decals that go onto it as well. These are primarily the little black plaques you see on pieces of equipment, given the serial number and so on. So it's back to the truck, and there's a couple of little more brackets I have to put on the sash to hold the unit, as well as another foot plate as well. And these are just full edge parts bent at a right angle, then put onto the frame. So now everything's in place, it's time to set the control unit on. Now this sits on little pads that have been put on throughout the build. The contact points, there's not that many of them, but so dry fit it so you know exactly where you're going to put it first of all. And then look at your contact points, just so that you're happy with the fitting. Now it fits really well. It should just slot into place if you've got your brackets and everything in the right position, but the location points are such that it is difficult to get it wrong. There's a part of the exhaust that's got to go. Now I purposely left this off until this point because I thought it would be easier to fit, and it was a little bit awkward, but it was easier to fit. I painted it in Red Watercolor 91 steel instead of the green, just to give it a contrast. But the reason why I decided to fit it this way was it should link in with the main exhaust, of course, the upright part, and then you fit it all at once. I thought it would be a lot of jiggling about trying to get it into its recess and its location points. So hence why I'm doing it now. As you can see, I'm having a little bit of difficulty, a little bit of trimming up to do to fit it in place. But I still maintain this was the best way to do it. So you can see where it goes. It goes from the exhaust into the main unit there. There is a recess for it to sit into, but I just took off the little straw it sits into because I couldn't quite get it in. Now that could well have been because I got it in the wrong position, I don't know. So it's now on to the next foot plate, and these metal grits are bent in position. It's just a very thin lip that's got to be bent into a 90-degree angle. That then sits on its frame. You don't have to do anything with this frame, just paint it, of course. Again, secured with a little bit of super glue. I'm not using the white glue here because it's taking too long to dry, so I'm going back to super glue. Again, it's just more personal choice. The plate itself is painted with Mr. Hobby 38 steel red, and as you can see that it fits right in front of the control panel or behind it, depends how you look at it, on the two brackets I placed in. And this is where I'll end part 10. So if you haven't done so already, why don't you go and check out the channel for my other builds, and maybe something that would interest you. Hit the subscribe button, and if you do, make sure you hit the notification bell. That way you'll be kept up to date not only with this build but all my other builds as well, of course. Hit the like button, don't be afraid to leave a comment, and of course you can share the video. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.